you should know it's gonna be me and you, the ZenQ. Hi everybody and welcome to my review of the ZenQ Synergy Core USB audio interface from Antelope Audio. In today's video we look at the main features of the ZenQ Synergy Core audio interface. Furthermore, we'll do some audio recording and try out some of the effects in the Synergy Core effect suite. The ZenQ actually ships with 37 of the Synergy Core effects, which can be powered via the onboard DSP and FPGA chips. Now, no worries if you're unfamiliar with the term FPGA, because you're going to learn all about that in this video. Quick disclaimer, I did borrow the ZenQ from Antelope Audio in order to make this review. That said, my thoughts are always my own. Let's take the tour. Right, so let's do a quick feature overview of the ZenQ. So this is a bus-powered USB audio interface, which you connect via the USB-C port on the backside here to the USB port of your PC or Mac. So this works both on PC platform, Windows, and the Mac OS X platform. With the ZenQ it's possible to get 14 inputs and 10 outputs. But basically first out you have two balanced TRS inputs on the front side here for connecting your guitars. These are high Z inputs. And you also have headphone 1 and headphone 2. And all these inputs and outputs can actually be configured differently via the Antelope software. On the back side you have two combo jackets for connecting microphone via XLR or using these also as high Z inputs via the TRS balanced cables. You also have speaker outputs and a line out output, and the SPDIF for adding additional inputs and outputs. And you also have this extra ADAT input for adding more inputs via the optical cable. On the front side of the ZenQ you have this big knob for controlling volume and the input gains. We also have these dedicated buttons for jumping between the different preamp volumes. So you can get a larger readout of the different volumes and gains. And in the middle we have this headphones and the monitor selector, and on the bottom you have this Antelope home button, which will bring you back to the home screen so you can see all the volume readouts for the different inputs and outputs. Right, so I know you're dying to hear how the mic preamps sound and perform on the ZenQ, so let's do some recording. I looked for you long before you lived. I looked for you way beyond the moons. And I know it's gonna be me and you. You should know it's gonna be me and you, the ZenQ. Now we have this Baby Bottle SL microphone from Blue Microphones connected via the XLR combo jack A1 on the ZenQ. And if we look at the ZenQ software, we have the 48 volts phantom power activated. But pay attention that you need to press command and click to activate the phantom power. It's a kind of lock so you don't accidentally activate it with another type of microphone. And we have the preamp set to 44 dB, so this is the sound of the ZenQ. This is the sound. This is the sound of the ZenQ preamp. This is the sound of the ZenQ preamp recorded at 24-bit 48K into OBS. Now pay attention to the preamp gain here set at 44 dB, and if we increase the preamp gain here, you should be able to hear some cars and planes in the background. And the preamp goes to plus 65 dB. The preamp goes to plus 65 dB, which should be plenty of gain for any kind of recording situation. But we have this set to 44 dB for a more even and great sounding level. And always pay attention so you don't hit into the red here, because then you are distorting your signal. Now the fader here in the middle is your hardware monitoring level. So if you want to monitor your recording signal via your DAW or some other audio software, you need to drag this down or mute it completely. Like this, like so. Right, so let's add some effects here. So we press this empty effects section here and maybe add a compressor. So let's look at some of these vintage compressors. So this is the FET A76 compressor. Bump up the rate a little bit here. This is the sound. This is the sound of the SenQ. This is the sound of the SenQ preamp. Now this is a little bit more compressed signal via the VCA 160. Maybe add some equalization, some vintage EQs. Now this is also the sound of the SenQ with a little bit of VCA 160 compression and some vMIC 5 equalization. And we can always add a power gate if we want to gate the signal, and you can always drag these effects around if you want to have them in another sorted order. Now we have a power gate as the first effect in our chain, and as soon as I stop speaking, the signal will be broken. 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 Right, since we're touching on the Synergy Core effect suite, I think it's a good time to talk about the difference between CPU and regular DSP processing and FPGA processing, because the SenQ comes with 2 DSPs and 1 FPGA for handling these Synergy Core effects. A regular CPU uses sequential computing. That means it handles instructions one after another. Well, if you have a multi-core CPU, of course you can do a little bit of a parallel computing. But on the other hand, an FPGA can do a multitude of parallel computing at the same time. That means that the FPGA is extremely fast. Now, since the SenQ uses FPGAs in combination with DSPs to generate the effects in the Synergy Core effect suite, there is a non-perceivable latency and the effects act almost like a real analog hardware. So let's now try some acoustic guitar. First a clean signal without any effects. And let's activate some of these Synergy Core effects. And here we have my Midtown Custom Gibson guitar, and I hooked it up to the G1 high C guitar input on the SenQ. So the raw clean signal from the SenQ audio interface. And that's the neck pickup and the bridge pickup. Now you probably want to add some effects to this clean guitar signal. And we enter the Antelope effects section. And here we can see that I have a power gate loaded up, which is basically a noise gate. And we have a guitar amp and a guitar cabinet and the vMIC equalizer. And all these plugins are currently bypassed, so let's just activate them one by one. The gate. The guitar amp. And you never want to use a guitar amp without a guitar cabinet. So let's activate the guitar cabinet. And let's finally activate the equalizer. Okay, so now we're more into the Mesa Boogie triple rectifier kind of territory. That's why I replaced the Gibson guitar with the Ibanez guitar instead. And I did a few changes here in the SendQ software. So if we look at the effect setup here, I changed the amp to be a Burn Sphere lead amp instead. And that's a kind of Mesa Boogie sound. And changed the cabinet to be a vintage 4x12 cabinet. And that gives us a very nice metal sound. And for that Neptune recording, I just quadruple recorded 4 tracks of guitar and hard panned 2 of these guitar tracks, all to the left and 100% to the right, and then about 20% to the left and 20% to the right for these 2 additional tracks, and added a little bit of sampled drums on top. So ultimately it was a really fast process to come up with a great guitar tone here with the SendQ Synergy Core bundled effects. Right, so now my final conclusion and verdict on the SendQ USB audio interface from Antelope Audio. This is a really nice bus-powered audio interface with plenty of headroom and really nice crisp sounding preamps. And the Synergy Core effects is a nice bonus here. You get 37 of the effects in the bundle with the SendQ. And it's a big plus that they are powered by FPGA and DSPs in a combination, because if you record with effects like with regular plugins through your DAW, you always have this annoying latency, but when recording with the Synergy effects I didn't have any noticeable latency, and it really felt like recording with real hardware unit effects. And that's a big plus when you want to get across a great performance with the guitar or the vocals. Now what I really would have liked to see in the package is a USB-C to USB-C cable rather than the USB-C to regular USB cable, because this MacBook Pro M1 Max only has the USB-C ports. So I really miss USB-C to USB-C cable, so I don't have to use all these dongles to be able to connect this really nice audio interface to my MacBook Pro. That said, if you're on a PC, you probably have plenty of those older USB ports. Now, if you have any questions on the SendQ or FPGAs or whatever, let me know in the comments section below. And if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the like and that notification bell so that you get noticed as soon as I drop new videos. Now you can continue and watch my next video. See you in the next one. My name is Matthias, bye!